Good afternoon, I'm Denise Tan, and this is One News Now. The President Bongbong Marcos unequivocally opposes claims that the West Philippine Sea territorial dispute was due to U.S. and China rivalry. During the 43rd ASEAN Summit Retreat session, the President maintained that the Philippines is protecting its own sovereignty in the region. Meanwhile, the U.S. is the country's most vocal ally in defending in the territorial dispute. Marcos Jr. said painting the dispute as a contest between Beijing and Washington robs the Philippines of its autonomy. He also urged all involved parties to exercise restraint so as not to further complicate the territorial dispute.
The Philippines firmly rejects misleading narratives that frame the disputes in the South China Sea solely through the lens of strategic competition between two powerful countries. This not only denies us our independence and our agency, but it also disregards our own legitimate interests.
The President also made it clear that the Philippines is seeking to uphold freedom of navigation and overflight in the West Philippine Sea in accordance to international law. But he underscored that the country is not gunning for conflict, but that the Philippines is only defending its rights over the region.
But let me be clear, we do not seek conflict. But it is our duty as citizens and as leaders to always rise to meet any challenge to our sovereignty, to our sovereign rights, and our maritime jurisdictions in the South China Sea. No country would expect any less.
The Philippines, the United States, and Japan are planning to meet on the sidelines of the 43rd ASEAN Summit in Indonesia. Philippine Ambassador to U.S. Babe Romualdez said the trilateral meeting was requested by both U.S. and Japan. While the meeting may focus on how the countries will work together, Romualdez said that the West Philippine Sea will most likely be discussed. For now, the ambassador said President Bongbong Marcos, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida are trying to find a common time in their schedules. Aside from meetings, President Bongbong Marcos is also aiming to attract more investments at the ASEAN Summit. According to House Speaker Martin Romualdez, the summit provides an excellent venue to showcase the advantages that the Philippines has a trade and investment hub. Apart from the summit itself, ASEAN will also hold dialogues with the United States, Canada, Japan, South Korea, and the United Nations. The ASEAN-China summit started earlier today, followed by the summit with South Korea. Up next will be dialogues with other nations and the UN. After which, the heads of state will be attending a gala dinner hosted by Indonesian President Joko Widodo. In other news, senators lament the supposed loopholes in the SIM registration after a photo of a monkey was accepted in the verification process. During a Senate hearing, the National Bureau of Investigation had disclosed that the online application system for SIM registration accepted a registrant using a photo of the animal. For its part, Globe Telecom told Radio 5 that companies use optical character recognition or OCR in the verification process. He explained that as long as the details on the application form and the picture on the ID match, it will go through the DELCO systems.
Minamatch lang po yung detalye na pinasok sa application form, doon sa online application form, at saka doon sa government ID na prinisenta. Kaya kung ang unggoy ang niligay sa ID at unggoy din ang nag-selfie, ay malamang papasok po talaga yon. Ganun naman po talaga yan. May nakakalusot. Pero ang susunod niyan is i-validate na natin ngayon ang mga registration. Sigurado ipapa-deactivate lahat po mga yon.
Time to take a quick break. One News Now will be back with more stories after that. Stay with us. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Denise Tan. Better weather conditions are expected as Tropical Depression Ineng has left the Philippine area of responsibility. Based on latest monitoring from Pag-asa, Ineng is at 1,240 kilometers east-northeast of extreme northern Luzon. Tropical Depression Ineng is forecasted to continue accelerating towards the sea south of mainland Japan. Despite this, the State Weather Bureau says Ineng and remnants of Haiku will still slightly enhance habagat. This will bring occasional rains over the western portions of northern and central Luzon in the next 3 days. University of the Philippines President Angelo Jimenez backs the proposed review of the free college education system. Jimenez told the Big Story that it has been 6 years since the program has been implemented and it has to be reviewed. However, pointed out that the focus should be on solving equity issues to make sure students who are most in need are prioritized. The UP president also disagreed on imposing a nationwide qualifying exam, saying it has been proven to be ineffective before. Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno earlier proposed the review, saying the program was inefficient and wasteful.
Tama-tama, meron tayong EDCOM today, no? EDCOM 2, Educational Commission, and they're reviewing the entire educational system of the Philippines, a trifocal one. So this is a good time as any to look at all these things, but or condition in life or capacity gets free education. That is equality. All students who need it must be given priority.
We now give you a quick look at today's other top stories. The full implementation of the government's Lifeline Rate program has been delayed anew to next year due to low registration turnout. The rollout was supposed to be this month, but it was moved to January 2024. Under this, poor families are entitled to discounts in their electricity bills. This covers the beneficiaries of the Pantawid Pamilyang Pilipino program and other marginalized sectors. They also have to consume within 100 kilowatt hours a month. The Health Department will stop injecting monovalent COVID-19 vaccines as soon as stocks run out. Based on the agency's inventory, there are only less than 200,000 monovalent vaccines, and these are only available in Calabarzon. Aside from that, the country's bivalent jabs are also close to be fully consumed. Latest data from DOH noted a 92% vaccination rate using bivalent vaccines. The DOH also noted an increase in leptospirosis cases amid the rainy season. 542 cases were reported in the past 3 to 4 weeks. This brings the total caseload to more than 3,300 from January 1 to August 19 this year. With this, experts are advising the public to avoid wading through floodwaters and to wear boots if left with no choice. One News Now will be back at 3:15 p.m. Join us again later. I'm Denise Tan. We are One News.